Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Security in the country has yet again become a major source of worry for a lot of Nigerians, especially in some parts of the northern region. Kaduna State in the northwest region has seen series of attacks in recent days. Borno in the northeast began to experience some very disturbing developments. For example, the governor of Borno State was caught in a very worrying scenario when he was traveling to Baga, a local government area in the state. Today, the Borno State Governor, Babangana Zulum, is not letting the attack on his convoy in Baga town to slide. He insists it was deliberate and there was sabotage in the system that will now not allow insurgency to end in the northeast. Governor Zulum was speaking when he met with the governors of Kebbi and Jigawa states, Atiku Bagudu and Badaru Abubakar, who paid him a solidarity visit over the recent attack in Baga. Take a listen to him.
There is no doubt that the gravity of the insurgency cannot be compared with what has happened between 2011 to 2015 and from 2015 to date. Yes, it's true. The president has done well. But the most important thing is that there's need for us to also say the right thing. There is a sabotage in the system that will not allow the insurgency to end. The president has to know this very important truth.
It appears things are getting slightly worrying lately. How else can the nation handle what has become a fragile situation in the matter of security in the country with the wanton destruction of lives and properties that we've seen drastically in the northeast region of the country and some part of the northwest? How can we bring this to its news? I have joining me tonight Group Captain Sadiq Shehu, a retired former Nigerian military, and from our Abuja studio is General Ahmed Jibrin, a former director of military intelligence and special advisor to the defense minister. Thank you so much indeed, gentlemen, for coming and joining us to talk about this tonight on the program. Let me begin with you, Group Captain, from our Kano studio. With what we have seen, the governor says this is a sabotage. And we saw what happened last week to his convoy. The president is also saying that there could be more to be done. Where are we getting it wrong? At some point, we thought that this war was actually dealt with, but it's looking like some things are getting wrong. What is wrong exactly?
Okay, thank you very much. Permit me, Kimbaloye, to start with the statement made by the president after the Salah celebration. Now, even though most of the headlines carried, we have done our best. I think you started right by giving the context that Mr. President gave. We have done our best. He put it in concept, in context. He said, from what we inherited. I also heard the president saying more resources will be given to the military and the police in the same speech. I also heard him saying situation from the north central and the northwest is very disturbing. I also heard him saying that the security forces can do much better. So honest, if you just look in isolation at we have done our best, it might give a misleading, conclusion. So what I am seeing, the president tried to differentiate the situation in the northeast, which is the Boko Haram counterinsurgency operation, and then the other, including the Niger Delta, which by his own estimation, that they have done a lot, and then move to the situation in the north central and the northwest. So I want us to look at these things. If you look at what happened in the northeast, certainly when you say you are comparing, have we done well? Like a journey, you have to look at where you came from and where you are and where you are going. The Boko Haram insurgency, when this regime came in, was the only security problem. We didn't have this banditry and the rest. So what did we have on the ground? this situation that started in 2011, if you ask me in assessing whether success have been made or not, I look at three indices. First, the area of ground or area of territory that was controlled by Boko Haram. By 2015, even from internal and external sources, it was unanimous that at least Boko Haram, as of March 2015, they had over 20 local government areas in the northeast under their control, hosting their flags, staying there, and claiming it to be an Islamic state. So that is one index we have to look at. As a military man also, we have to look, because war is about killing of people, both military and civilians. We have to look at the number of deaths. How are we? Now, looking at those two indices, the Center for Research in the United States is the only source that we can have that has comprehensive data on the actual people that have been killed during this Boko Haram. Unfortunately, we are not good at, it's something we know, we are not good at keeping records. Now, if you look at the areas that were covered, we agree that as 2015, we had 20 local governments that were under Boko Haram effective control. Now, subsequently, it came down to 7, maybe before the Goodluck Jonathan regime left, and then up to 3, and up to now that we can say we don't have any local government that is held with Boko Haram static as an area. So you see, in area controlled, we have to agree that something has been achieved substantially. And this is coming not from internal sources, because in all honesty, in analyzing military situation, in my own way, I look at what is available from the Nigerian military. I also look at what is available from other sources. So that is in terms of area. What in terms of people killed? Again, when we look at the CRS data, we see that in 2011, they started keeping a record from May 29, 2011, when the Jonathan administration came in. In 2011, we have a total death of 1,096. 2012, it moved to 3,761. 2013, it moved to 7,167, almost doubling 2012. In 2014, which is the worst year, we had 15,600 deaths. In 2016, now 2014 is 15,600, which I said is the worst year. Then we have 2016, that is after this regime has come. From that 15,600, we started moving to 5,763. 2017, it dropped further to 4,618. Unfortunately, 2018, we had a spike, which moved again to 6,565. We had another spike in 2019, which moved to 8,350. Then 2020 that we are in now, as at the end of June, we have casualties of 6,195. Now, when I say casualties, here I'm talking of people killed, be they Boko Haram, be they civilians, be they Nigerian forces. So in terms of deaths, we can see there was an increase 2011 up to 2015. Then from 2015, we had a descent into 2016, 2017. Then 2018, we had a spike, but still not at the figures. So if you ask me, again, I will say in terms of lives lost, we can say again there is something that this government can show. However, that is not to say that there have not been reversals. Certainly have been reversals. We have the Metele attack. We have the other attack where it has taken over 100 troops at one go. So definitely, me looking at the indices of area covered and then the number of deaths, I will say that this regime has something to show compared. And when I say this regime, are also the people that are prosecuting the war. Because like I said, when you are going to compare, you have to compare what happened before. Now,
Group Captain, just a moment.
Issue of
Group Captain,
on, Governor Zulum.
Okay, so please quickly touch on that. Quickly touch on that. Go ahead and quickly touch on that.
Yes, the attack is unfortunate, but one thing I want to set clear, and honest, this goes to both the military leaders and also the civilian leaders. If there is anything a war commander does not want, is the presence of a VIP in his operational area. For so many reasons. VIPs, be they military, be they the civilians like Governor Zulum, it could even be the chief of army staff. In all honesty, VIPs attract bullets. They are like magnet to a bullet. The people that are opposing the armed forces, they always want to use the visit of a VIP to score a point. Even if they don't hit him, the fact that they were able to launch an attack sends a lot of signals. because
right.
it is going to make people afraid. We
So-
have the Sheikh of Borno talking about, we have the governor talking about. So I am bringing this because, honest, both the military and the civilian, they should minimize visits to operational areas. Now, having said that, the
Just a
governor
moment.
talked about sabotage. In all honesty, I am not in position to say you can count out sabotage. Much again as I cannot say that there was sabotage. But however, when we say sabotage, those saboteurs are acting against the interest of the state government and also against the interest of the armed forces. So my own thinking is that I will humbly suggest that if there is issue of sabotage, which the governor suspects, I believe that he should have gone, you know, on one-to-one with the military to give them, because the sabotage is against him, the sabotage is against the military. The last point I want to make on this is that this is a civilian political master whose interest, everybody knows Governor Zulum's interest, is to make sure that people that are running away from certain areas have gone back. That is, you can see him pursuing that with steadfastness. On the other hand, the military officer in the operational area, the honest truth is that the more civilians that are in the operational area, the more complicated his tasks become. So I want people to look at this too. You know, Governor Zulum has his concerns, the military have their concerns. But like I said, they also have the same objective. That is bringing this something. So
all right. So let me get my other guest, group captain. Just a moment. Interesting scenarios and pictures that you have painted there. Let me get my other guest, who is the special advisor to the defense minister. And perhaps for a few seconds, let's take a listen to what the governor said about the issue of sabotage in the Northeast security. Take a listen to Governor Zulum.
There is no doubt that the gravity of the insurgency cannot be compared with what has happened between 2011 to 2015 and from 2015 to get. Yes, it's true. The president has done well. But the most important thing is that we all need for us to also say the right thing. There is a sabotage in the system that will allow the insurgency to end.
So let me go to General Ahmed Jibrin, who is a former director of military intelligence and special advisor to the defense minister. He joins us from our Kano studio. We've seen 8 workers being mercilessly killed by insurgents in the past days. We've seen some kind of situation where the governor of Borno State was attacked. How can Nigerians then believe the story of the fact that there is a lot of work being done by the military in ending insurgency, which looks like there is a reversal?
Anyway, I've not heard what the first speaker said, and I picked something like the allegation by Governor Zulum that there is sabotage in the operation of the military at the Northeast, particularly as it affects the incident that happened some few days ago. If that's what is the question, I would say even if there is sabotage, I believe it wouldn't have come from the soldiers. There was claimed that Boko Haram was cleared from the general area. And if Boko Haram is cleared, so the governor has every right to say that, okay, if the Boko Haram elements are not in those areas, then who would have fired at him, and so on. So to that, I would say anything could have happened. We have not been ruling out possibility of sabotage from among the military. There are fifth columnists, there are informants for this insurgent among us, and I believe that in time, all these things will be sorted out. But sabotage will not be from the military commanders. If it's from the military, certainly it would have been from the fifth columnists who decided to do that in order to encourage on the military. But the military commanders on the ground will certainly not attack the governor and will not allow anybody among them to do so. But it has already happened, and now investigation should be able to unravel what led to this shooting. It's a very embarrassing situation. After claim that no Boko Haram is there, then who must have shot at the governor? So I will recommend that there should be very, very elaborate investigation on the part of the military to be able to determine if it is not from the military, then from whom? Because the claim has been made that Boko Haram is not in that area. Now, having said that, we also have to realize that there are other issues we must look at when you are in an area of operation. Sometimes even friendly fire affects your own operation. But in this case, certainly it is not a friendly fire. It must have been from some other sources which investigation should be able to unravel. And this investigation, I should think, should have started by now. Because unless that is done, the governor will still continue to go away with his allegation that he was fired from among the military officers. But I, for sure, that I know that no commander in his right senses will allow a soldier from his own troop to attack the convoy of the governor of the state, whom they know very well, and they also provide security for.
I must sincerely thank both of you, General Ahmed Jibrin, the Special Advisor to the Defense Minister, and Group Captain Sadiq Shehu. Thank you so much indeed, gentlemen, for giving your thoughts on the security situation in the country. So we'll take a break. And up next, the battle for the soul of Edo State is on as the different political parties jostle for the votes of the people ahead of the September 19th governorship election. Tonight, we'll be talking to some heavyweights in the race. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Don't forget to let us know what your views are on the issues that we're discussing tonight on the program. Tweet to us on these handles that you can see right here on your screen. And, of course, send an email to us, politicstoday@channelstv.com. Let's get back into the program now. And this one, we're getting you into the matter of Edo State and the governorship election. That's where we're switching to now. So the governorship election in Edo State will happen a matter of a month from now, precisely September the 19th. And some of the narratives are not encouraging. The stories of plans of violence, smear campaign, allegations and counter-allegations have become the name of the trade in the past days. One man that has become so popular these days in the campaigns is a former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole. He joins us from Oshiomhole in Edo State. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight on the program. And let's perhaps do some clearing the air about some issues that have come up in the campaign. You've had relationships with the candidate of the APC, your candidate, Pastor Alleges, as well as the man who you supported and helped become governor 4 years ago, whom you now campaign against. Perhaps I should remind you of some of the things you said about these two people 4 years ago, and I'd like to get your reaction to what to some of those issues you've raised. Take a listen to what you said 4 years ago.
Godwin, he come from a large family in Benin Kingdom. He went to school. He finished his secondary school. He went to University of Ibadan. He finished. There were no issues. Fly colors. He went to US. He did his masters. He came back home. He started helping people to set up businesses. The other guy, Mr. AJ Yamu, he has a very interesting lifestyle. He went to school. He finished his primary school. I haven't seen the testimonial, but he finished. He then went to University of Benin to read law. 2 years later, he was rusticated. For 2 years, they drive him from school. Why? He carried acid and pour on the body of another student. Today, that student is deformed for life. His manhood has been destroyed. Today, he cannot raise a family. That is his credentials. And that is why he could not go to law school. That is why, although he read law, he is not a barrister.
The former governor of Edo State and former national chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. We hope that we'll be talking about some of the issues that have come up in the in this election. Let me also let you know what has happened earlier today. The governor, Obaseki, has been speaking about the situation of things as in the campaign of the election. He's aware or is worried about the issues of violence. Take a listen to what he said earlier today.
They've destroyed generations of kids, left them on the streets, and they want to use these people to consume each other. They are not campaigning on what they can do because they have no records of what they've done. They know they will not win elections in this place. So what have they decided? Propaganda, lies, violence. They say they will come in, they will bring boys, they will come into those polling units, and they will make sure that our votes don't count. I wish them well. I wish them well. When I have all of you, let me see how they will come. You know, you will mobilize for yourselves.
Yes. 4 plus 4.
Nobody has monopoly of violence.
Yes.
If they want violence, we will show them violence.
Yes.
So if I see anybody, if you see anybody smashing any cars because my sticker or poster is in the car, let us know, and we will show that person that we're government. We will show them that we are in government. And I am governor, Philip is deputy governor. We are the only two who have immunity in this state. We are the only two people today who have immunity in this state. And I am sending a very clear warning, very, very clear. If I find anybody misbehaving, no matter who you have been, I will arrest you and I will deal with you.
Let's get back to the conversation now. I'm hoping that we are able to hear the former governor of Edo State and former national chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we will get talking with the former chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole. Join us again, everyone. I'm being joined now by the former chairman of the PDP in Edo State, Chief Dan Obi, who is the chairman of the campaign there for the PDP in Edo State. Thank you so much, Chief Obi, for your time tonight. Let me begin the conversation by also asking you, there is what you said about the governor, but presently, how would you describe Governor Obaseki and its time, at least over the 3 years that he spent in office?
Good evening. Let me say straight away, I want to start by saying that today we have Godwin Obaseki, who is contesting this election. I want to say that in the past few years, we've watched him, we've seen him, what he has done for the good people of Edo State. And today, some of us who did not support him, the first time he came out to contest this election, are in the forefront as governor of Edo State. The reasons are there. We've seen that he is running against a candidate who ran the last election on the platform. And if you look at the few years, you cannot but deny him the support to continue the good work he's doing for Edo people.
Okay, so you just said that he's doing some good work and needs to continue. Let me remind you what he said some months ago about Governor Obaseki. Take a listen. You were the chairman of the PDP at the time. Take a listen to what he said about his performance in office.
I want to start by using this opportunity to appreciate and congratulate the good people of Edo State for surviving Governor Godwin Obaseki 1 year of harsh and unbearable government policy. Here, in the midst of growing incidents of herdsmen killings in Edo State, we are shocked and bemused that Edo State government is silent on making a clear and categorical statement about the so-called Ruga or cattle colonies. It is alleged and feared that Godwin Obaseki has already considered part of Edo land for the pilot program.
How do you reconcile the man you said failed in governance a few months ago and the man you said he has done well and needs to continue? How do you reconcile those two statements?
Well, I'm sure you must have listened to me very carefully. What I said was 1 year assessment of Godwin Obaseki. But here we are almost at the tail end of his tenure. I can tell you straight away that 1 year is certainly not enough to do a proper assessment of performance. In the past 3 years and some months, I can tell you clearly that what he has done for the people of Edo State has changed the minds of Edo people. I can tell you too that, let me just recall some of the things he's been able to put together in the past few years. We have this Edo modular oil refinery started by him. As of today, it's about 70% completed. And when commissioned, it will be giving about 1,000 barrels of oil per day. This project is verifiable. You can go to Lobo. What he's been able to do there. Let us even look at his program relating to the industrialization of the state. Look to support a comprehensive industrial program in a state. You need to address the power issue. And within few years, he's been able to take the energy problem of the state. He has been able to put together the CCTC independent power plant, which is located in Benin City, to be able to address the challenges in the power sector. That project, as I speak with you, is fully completed and is awaiting commissioning.
So those are the grounds that you have laid about his performance. I'm very sure that you perhaps have heard what some of your opposition are saying in the state as regarding what the people can practically see on the ground. So what are you telling or preaching to the people of Edo State the reasons why Mr. Obaseki should be voted for re-election?
I'm talking about programs that you can verify. Look at the Ulubo. I've talked about the CCETC Independent Power Project. You go to Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium today, you cannot believe what you will see. He has been able to change the entire structure of that stadium to support the development in the state. No. The old Bende and Edo State is noted for their giant strides in sports development. In the past, we had football clubs, athletes that represented this country very well. And he came to power, he saw the neglect of sports facilities in the state. He went to work, and if you go to Ogbel Stadium today, but I will tell you, a few years ago, when the former governor took over power, he was busy bringing building a swimming pool, official residential quarters in Benin, and the pool at the Ogbe Stadium was a ground for toads, frogs, and reptiles. But go there today,
I'm losing your audio now. I don't understand. Maybe we can refresh and get your connection properly done. Let me go back to Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, whom I understand now that can hear us and we can hear him clearly now. So, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, if you can react to some of the things you said then and what has changed now, and whether or not what the people of Edo State should believe in what you tell them.
Are you done with the question?
Yes, sir.
Well, the first question you asked, you quoted what I said about the university education, primary, secondary, and the rest of it. Are you hearing me?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. But it is now an open secret that as of that time, that those were, I mean, all he told me, and I had no reason to doubt him. But a few months after we had elected him, PDP went to court, and it was through PDP court action that we discovered that contrary to Governor Baseki's claim, he actually had forged certificates. He made three credits, and you cannot proceed to the University of Ibadan with 3 credits. And of course, he swore to affidavit that he finished secondary school in 2000. He finished for the University of Ibadan in 1976, and then he attached a photocopy which shows 1979. And PDP went to court to say that Dr. Baseki forged his certificate. He could not have possibly gained admission with 3 credits only. That is religious knowledge, history, and geography. Now, at the time I was talking about this going to the University of Ibadan, I believe him. But from the court document filed by PDP against me, I now know that he lied to me. And that is the reason that the screening committee, which was made up of professors and senior advocates of Nigeria that we constituted to screen the candidate, found that given his credentials, which he has further compounded this year by attaching fake originals, that it is impossible for his candidature to stand in the face of the law. And so he was disqualified. Now, you also made mention of what I said about Yamu not being a lawyer. That is what I was told. Now I know for a fact, because thereafter, people who were his schoolmates in the law school have come out to say that he was a classmate at Nigeria Law School. And of course, I have had the opportunity to look at, you have a list of people who went through the law school. So it is not my word against another person. And I now find that all of those things they told me were of course not true. So Pastor Yamu finished from law school. And don't forget that these statements were not made on affidavit. They were based on what I was told. Just like he himself told me that he went to the University of Ibadan, he had all the credits, he did XYZ, and I have no reason to doubt him. But the issue today is that we now have evidence to the contrary. And that is why right now, just like PDP sued him in 2016, but he escaped because PDP filed the action out of time, and the issues involved were started back because they were pre-election issues. This time we have filed early enough. But I think the real question you have put to my dear friend and brother Danobi, you helped him by just showing a little of what he has said. He has said more damaging things about Obaseki, even after 100 days in office, where he showed Wike's achievements and compared them to Obaseki's achievements. Now, the facts are there that Obaseki deviated from his commitment to Edo people, which is to continue all of those things that has taken Edo back, that people were describing Edo as a construction site. And when he talks about what he's doing, in our campaign, we told Edo people, don't believe what you have not seen. While I was governor, we set up Azura Power Plant, which has since been commissioned, a $1 billion project. I didn't have to do MOU in China or in Washington or elsewhere. It was done here. And I know I got the current president and the vice president to dot the remaining lines that the previous government did do to enable the project to kick off. And that project has been completed. I hope that Danobi is not crediting Azura power plant. That is something, check the certificate of occupancy for that land. I paid for it. Sorry, I signed it. I paid, the government paid part of the compensation for land and other facilities we provided, which give the state government a share. So we are shareholders in Azura power plant. And where they manufacture ceramic tiles in Edo today, which we use for most of the schools we built by Chinese companies, we didn't do any MOU, and they are producing. We are not here about commissioning. They are already producing. And we have a company that was also set up. All we needed to do was to create the enabling environment, and they are producing iron rods from scratch. So
if I may quickly, So let me come in and ask you. You heard what the governor said today about the fact that your party is planning violence. How true is that?
Okay. So for me, the issue in this election is you'll be tested for 4 years. In those 4 years, you cannot point at the new primary schools you have built in a state that believes so much in education. In these 4 years, you can't lay claim to having built a new secondary school. On the contrary, you close down the College of Education, which I had upgraded to University of Education. And you close down Ugoniaki College of Agriculture at a time when we need to produce artisans to be able to do support farmers and help them to understand modern ways of farming. And you close down the School of Nursing at a time when we need to produce more nurses. The hospital we built, I paid 75% before I left. Danobi is on record, and you should also search your system. This is YouTube, you will find it, where he claimed, and correctly, that Governor Basiti budgeted twice in 2017 and in 2018 budget. He made provisions to pay for the balance of the central hospital. And we know now that 1 kobo he has not paid. All that was paid to Bamed was all that was paid while I was governor. Not only that, he shut down the hospital. Danobi has been one of those political warriors who insisted that the hospital be open. I had to do a documentary to compel Obasiti to open the hospital. And even as we speak, contrary to the understanding, I didn't build an hospital for elite. Of course, we call it a 5-star hospital, not for elite. It was meant to be managed by a State Health Management Board that have been managing the hospital before we rebuild it. Today, Obasiti brings a consultant who is paying every month for a business in which he has no investment. How will you defraud your people like that? And today,
comrade, let me quickly, if I may quickly ask you this question, because I asked you earlier about the issue of violence, which perhaps I'm not sure if you got the question right. The allegations that your party is planning violence, but this question I'd like to ask is there any fear in the minds of your party, the APC, about a possibility of the popularity of Governor Obaseki? Is he a threat to your party and your candidate?
How can he be a threat? A man who is not even eligible to contest the election, how can he be a threat? How can a snail be a threat in a race where guys are involved? So that is not the issue. But let me speak to the question of violence. And here, you just need to play back even the statement he made this evening. He was threatening that he and the deputy are above the law, because according to him, they have immunity. And he will deal with anybody. When you say anybody, he means members of the opposition. I was the governor of that state. I did the election in 2012, my second term election, in which I won all the 18 local governments, and I scored 74.6% of the total vote cast. Not one life was lost. In his own election, which was conducted while I was governor, not one life was lost. So the only thing that had changed is who is now the governor. if suddenly people are talking of violence. I mean, Obaseki went to pay a courtesy call along with other governors to the Oba of Benin. Rather than go there with cola nut and hot drink, which is the tradition of the rich culture of the Benin Kingdom. He didn't go with that. He went with thugs who were armed with firearms.
Comrade, please, apologies because of the issues of network. I also need to get some of the reactions of Chief Dan Obi, and probably also some people are also reacting to some of the issues in this election. The issue of violence has been raised, issues of performance, issues of the agenda and the manifesto of the political parties. I'll allow Chief Dan Obi to come back into the conversation and react to some of these issues, but I'll allow you to listen to the chairman of the PDP campaign organization, the governor of Rivers State.
I want to tell the people of Edo State, nobody should be afraid. Nobody should be what? Afraid. Nobody can rig this election. No one man can decide what will happen in Edo State. Today is the end of so-called godfatherism.
Let's now get reactions from Chief Dan Obi on some of the issues raised by Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Thank you so much for reconnecting with us, Chief Dan Obi. How would you react to some of the issues that were raised by Comrade Adams Oshiomhole on some of the things you said in the past and what you claim the performance of Governor Obaseki?
I've said very clearly that we just need to look at what they have been able to achieve. I
talked about the modular oil refinery at Tolobo. I talked about the city electricity. You can look at the state today. It's completely what it was on there. My very good friends talk about the governor. The little question I have for comrades is, what has changed? If you go against our candidate, a few years ago, they against our candidate, and you gave Edo people reasons why Godwin Obaseki is the best man for the job. And I can tell you today, even some of us who did not support him at that time are in the forefront campaigning for his re-election because of his achievements. And people are asking, what is different from what you told us a few years ago and what you are saying now? And this brings us to the issue of the man's resolve to ensure that he's working for the people of the state. People are talking about his financial prudence. I want to join other Edo people who have been able to admire what he has achieved in terms of his financial discipline in managing the resources of our state. And that is where this whole problem came from. It is now established that his decision not to bring the state resources just for a few people who felt that they were responsible for his election in the first step, for them to share, is what has led to the crisis in it. And of course, I can tell you straight away, today in Edo State, the APC in Edo State are falling out of favor with the people. And come September 19th, the people are ready to vote overwhelmingly for Godwin Obaseki so that he can continue all the good things he has started. Today in Edo State, pensioners no longer stay in the street and die just waiting to get their pensions. He has been able to digitalize the payment of pension in the civil service. Go to the state judiciary. He has been able to put up new structures, conducive environment, so that those who administer the laws can sit in a conducive environment and discharge their duties. He has built quarters for the judicial officials in the state, and he has done so much that if is given a second term, he will be able to continue with all these good projects, and the Edo State will be better for it. There's no doubt in my mind that the issue between
for your thoughts, but we need to leave it at that because of our time tonight. Former chairman of PDP in Edo State, Chief Dan Obi. Network has not been fair to us and nice to us tonight. We hope that we'll have a better day some other time in terms of the connections there on Skype with Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, former chairman of national chairman of the APC and former governor of Edo State. Thank you so much, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, for joining us and talking to us tonight, as well as Chief Dan Obi, former chairman of the PDP in Edo State. Just before we go on a programming note, there is a new program that will air tonight called Pivotal. Will debut tonight at 9:30 p.m. on your award-winning station, Channels TV. That's at 9:30 every Sunday on the DSTV platform. Again, Pivotal, a new program, will debut tonight at 9:30 p.m. right here on Channels Television. Please stay tuned. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm Oshiomhole. Bye-bye.